So this video is all about tapping into Amazon's most lucrative opportunity with private labeling. So some of you, if you've never done it before, might be wondering what private labeling is. Well, private labeling is really taking a product that's already been manufactured, that's already been produced by another company, and putting your own brand on it. The benefits of this is that you have complete control over pricing and complete control over marketing, and you're really building your own brand in the process. So if you start thinking about this, anything around your house, anything around your office, anything that you buy or see at stores is really a potential for private labeling. So private labeling is actually very easy to do. Now you might be feeling a little intimidated if you've never done this before, but trust me, after you do it just once, you'll see how easy it is, and you'll be able to private label and source any product out there. Private labeling really comes down to three things. First, it's a matter of finding a good opportunity. In the next lesson in this module, you'll learn how to find great killer opportunities on Amazon for private labeling. Second, you need to find a supplier. In Module 3, we dive deep into how to find suppliers for those opportunities you find. And third, also in Module 3, you'll learn all about label, packaging design, and building your own brand name and marketing campaign. So the three most common questions I get about private labeling is first, do I have to carry inventory? With what I teach you in the following modules, you'll learn that you don't ever have to touch any inventory. You're actually going to use Amazon's fulfillment system and make it all completely hands-off. Second, do I need a big upfront investment? Answer to that is no. You can literally start with only $100, maybe even a couple $100 with the suppliers once I teach you exactly how to find good suppliers and negotiate with them, so you don't have to make a big upfront investment to get started. And third, why don't suppliers just sell these products themselves? If they can, tap into these opportunities, why don't they just do it themselves? That's not the business model they're set up for. They're built to sell to people like you and I who want to go out there and sell retail. Their business is wholesale, so you don't have to worry about that either. Now, you may have other questions, but trust me, all that stuff will be addressed in later training modules. So in this video, I'm going to teach you the 7 foolproof qualities of a killer Amazon opportunity. But before I jump into those 7 items, first thing to think about that's going to help you throughout this training course and really for the rest of your life is that a big misconception people have when they think about selling physical products is that you have to find a supplier, you have to find a product first. That's really the backwards way to go about it. Your best way to do it is to find an opportunity first, which is what these 7 qualities will help you find. So the first quality of a killer Amazon opportunity is the bestseller ranking of that top-ranked product. If you found the product through searching for a category or through a keyword, you're looking at that top product and seeing how well it's doing in its top-level category. Easy to find on the Amazon page. I'll show you exactly how to do that. So for example, if you're looking for blue widgets and that's the product you find, then you're going to open that product up and you're going to look at its top-ranked category ranking, and that's what's really going to help you give your first indication of the opportunity there. So the second quality of a killer Amazon opportunity is the bestseller ranking of other similar products. So the general approach is you're going to find an opportunity by digging through categories on Amazon. Then once you find an opportunity that looks good, you're going to do a keyword search to see the other similar products and how well they're doing in the top level categories. So for example, if you go out there and you happen to find an iPhone and you see, like, okay, this might be a good opportunity. People like iPhones, if you had no idea what that was. So you go do a keyword search related to that, and you're like, wait a minute, the iPhone listing is the only one that's doing well. Well, that's a completely brand-driven product. But if you did a search for a more generic product, then you did that keyword search, and you found that there's 20 other products that are pretty similar that are all doing well, that means there's a much bigger opportunity for people like you and I to jump in there and take advantage of those. So the third quality of a killer Amazon opportunity is the number of reviews of a primary product. Because reviews for well-selling products are pretty much built naturally over time. But if you find a product that's selling extremely well, but has a low number of reviews, that can be a great opportunity. That's actually a new opportunity that you can jump on. But even if there are a lot of reviews for that product, that doesn't mean it's a bad opportunity. Because the fourth quality is the number of reviews of other similar products. So if that top one has lots of reviews, but all the other ones don't have very many, that could still be a great opportunity because snagging that number 2, number 3 spot can still mean lots and lots and lots of sales. On the other hand, if there are tons of reviews for the next 20 products, that can be one that's a little tough to compete and you may want to look elsewhere. So the fifth quality of a killer Amazon opportunity is the price. An optimal selling price that we've discovered through myself, my own testing, and the experience of my students is really between $9 and $40. When you find products on Amazon that meet all these other qualities and they're selling between $9 and $40, that's a good sweet spot. If it gets too expensive, then it gets a little costly to buy inventory. If it gets too cheap, below $9, then the shipping costs can really eat up all your margins. So the sixth quality of a killer Amazon opportunity is private label potential. Can that product really be turned into your own product brand? You'll learn a little more about that. It'll make a little more sense when we start walking through specific examples. Now, the seventh quality of a killer Amazon opportunity is the profit margin. You're not really going to know that until you start going through the steps of finding suppliers, but you really want to target a 50% or higher profit margin. That's really going to make all the work you do worth your time. But one thing to think about is the profit margin is obviously dependent on price. Now, you do not have to be, and I don't recommend being, a low-cost product on Amazon. I recommend being a premium priced product because once you apply everything you learn in this course, you'll be able to get that premium priced product ranked above everyone else and make more money in the process.
This video is called Product Listing Mechanics, the buy box in Amazon as a seller. Now we've thrown this into Module 2 because these are two items that are massive misconceptions among people that haven't sold on Amazon before. These are two things that, following the model that we're going to be teaching you and that you're learning right now, really in Module 2, these two things are not really going to matter for you, but I want to make sure that as an Amazon marketer and Amazon entrepreneur that you know what these are. So first off, what is the buy box? I'm going to go over to Amazon right now and show you exactly what the buy box is, what it's used for, and why it doesn't really matter for you. So now we're over on Amazon's website, and I want to show you exactly what the buy box is. So I just have a basic sleeping mask product pulled up. And as you can see here, it says the price is $13.59, but then here it says 4 new from $10.95. So what the buy box refers to is whoever will get the sale, whichever seller will get the sale whenever a consumer, you or I, is just shopping on Amazon and clicks the add to cart button. That's only going to go to one of these 4 sellers. So it happens to be the person that's ranked at the top. So when I click this, I already have it open, but I'll show you what these 4 sellers look like. So we have SB Naturals, we have Express Store, iCapsy, and some seller called At Your Door. So whenever somebody goes over here and they click the add to cart button, that order is going to go to this seller, SB Naturals, which is why if you look over here, you can see sold by SB Naturals and fulfilled by Amazon. So that's what the buy box is. It means whenever somebody clicks this, it goes to that seller. So all these other sellers, all these other 3 that you see here, the only time they get sales is whenever this person either runs out of stock or somebody clicks for new and goes over here and picks a different one. This is a very small percentage of total Amazon sellers. So if you're selling the same product as everyone else, then you're fighting tooth and nail to get in that buy box, which is a whole game in and of itself, which is a lot of the times driven by price. And you want to make sure you're using fulfillment by Amazon. But this is not something you're going to have to worry about because following the model that we teach you in Amazing Selling Machine, there will be no other sellers for your product. There will be no 4 new. It'll just be you selling this product because you're selling your own unique product. So you won't have to worry about any other sellers. You won't have to worry about the buy box. And it'll really be something you never have to think about. So this is a great thing for you. So now that you know what the buy box is, another question people may have is what if Amazon is the seller? You'll notice this if you look at a product on Amazon, it says ships from and sold by Amazon.com. I'm going to go over and show you exactly what that looks like on Amazon so you know what to look for. It's another thing that's not really going to matter, and I'll explain more of that when we're over on Amazon's website. So another thing a lot of people bring up whenever they're looking at products to sell on Amazon, they're new to the space, trying to figure things out, is they wonder what happens if you go to a product like this and it says ships from and sold by Amazon.com. Does that mean it's just not a product worth competing with? Does that mean it's something that Amazon's already owning, that they're just gonna not let anybody sell it? Not the case whatsoever. That's this one product. This one coconut oil product happens to be shipped from and sold by Amazon. All that means is Amazon has contacted the manufacturer of this product and asked them if Amazon itself can buy that product wholesale and sell it on their site. As you can see, there's still 61 other sellers of the same exact product. But the cool thing is that this is not going to matter to you because, for example, if you were to come here and create your own private label coconut oil product, then you would just be another product in the listing. So, for example, if I went over to Amazon.com, did a search for coconut oil, and you could see you could be this product right here that's your own brand. You could be, Matt's coconut oil, or, obviously whatever your name is, or whatever brand name you want to choose. And then here would be this product that Amazon's selling. Because it'd be your own brand, then Amazon couldn't sell it unless they asked you, and which is actually a really cool thing because this has happened to a few people we know, a few people we've taught this model to. Amazon will actually start asking you to buy your product wholesale. They'll buy 30 months, or they'll buy 30 days ahead of supply. So they'll buy basically a month's supply from you in advance. And they'll go out there and start selling your product and start doing all kinds of crazy marketing stuff. But that's a whole nother discussion. But basically, you'd be another seller here. Amazon would be selling this product. Other than that, it wouldn't matter. You'd both be ranking for coconut oil. You'd both be ranking in the categories. So it's just another thing you don't have to worry about. So these are two things, the buy box and ships from and sold by Amazon.com, that you don't really have to worry about too much following the model that we teach you. So I just want to clear those two things up. So yeah, get ready for the next video. So now you're ready to start looking for opportunities on Amazon to sell private label products. So the first thing you're going to do is just go to Amazon.com because we're going to start digging through these categories to find some really good opportunities. Now, most of you will not have this little banner here. This is Amazon.com. It says Amazon.fr because I'm recording this from France right now. But all you're going to do is go to Amazon.com. Scroll over this, shop by department. You can see they list a lot of their top level categories here, but instead of digging through these, we're going to click on full store directory. The reason we do this is because for some reason, I don't think Amazon did this intentionally, but for some reason, this is perfectly split with what we need to look for because this left-hand side is stuff you don't really want to waste your time looking at. On the right-hand side is where we're going to find all of our opportunities. Because when you want to sell private label products, selling digital things like apps or videos or MP3 files, digital games, all this sort of stuff is not really the focus of this program. So all these things on the left, Kindle books, audiobooks, etc., don't really worry about that. On the right-hand side is where we want to put all our focus in. So as you can see, the top level categories are electronics and computers, home, garden and tools, grocery, health and beauty, toys, kids and baby, clothing, shoes, and jewelry, sports and outdoors, and automotive and industrial. Now, you may already have an idea of a product that you want to sell or an opportunity you want to pursue. That's perfectly fine, but I highly recommend you watch every single video in this module, the next module, and in the whole course, so you learn exactly how to find and evaluate opportunities and pursue those opportunities. Now, if you already have an idea of something you want to pursue, then in the next couple of videos, I'm going to show you exactly how to evaluate any opportunity. Not just find one, which is what this video and the next video is about, but how to evaluate any opportunity you possibly have in mind with Amazon, how to tell if it's a good opportunity worth pursuing. But so first, how do you decide if you don't already have an opportunity that you want to look into on Amazon? How do you decide what it is that you want to sell? How do you find opportunities? Well, first off, you need to keep in mind that our focus is in private labeling products, developing and building our own brand. Now, this means if we're using fulfillment by Amazon, we're going to have to buy a little bit of inventory. That's why one of the criteria, those 7 foolproof qualities of a killer Amazon opportunity, is price. You want the selling price to be between $9 and $40. That alone is going to cut out a chunk of these categories, such as electronics and computers. It's going to cut out appliances, home, garden, and tools. It's going to cut out a lot of building supplies, hardware, power and hand tools. It's going to cut out appliances. It's going to cut out a lot of those things because those just don't really make sense for what we want to do here. Another thing is private label potential, sort of related to that. For example, if you see a refrigerator, there could be an opportunity there, not something I've really looked into, but the problem there is it's going to be tough to private label, it's going to be cost prohibitive, it's going to cost a bunch of money to ship. So you're looking for products, first off, that are in the right price range, second off, have private label potential, and third, ideally are physically small. There's something that's not a huge item because that's also going to cause problems with shipping and order inventory and storing inventory and all those kind of things. So those are the general criteria. You've already learned the 7 bigger criteria, but when you start digging through those categories, you're going to want to keep those in mind. So I'm going to pull up a few categories for you here to show you exactly what I mean. So the first category I have pulled up is appliances. So if you look under appliances, you'll see that you see things like refrigerators, washers and dryers, stoves, dishwashers. I mean, Amazon sells everything, but most of these are not what you're going to want to spend time looking into. First off, refrigerators, obviously extremely big. Same goes with these other items. Price is going to be higher. They're going to be tough to private label. They're complicated items. Not the things you want to spend time looking into. So, for example, I wouldn't have even, other than giving you all an example here, if I was looking for an opportunity, I wouldn't have clicked on appliances. Now, they're all things like this, so it doesn't mean this is going to be a category that you're never going to find any opportunities in, because you take, for example, this stainless steel ice crusher. You may be able to find these, you may be able to private label them, may be a great opportunity. But if you're just, trying to be efficient here, this is not going to be the main category you're going to look into, but it doesn't mean you can't find things like this, which could be fine. So the second category I have pulled up here, camera, photo, and video. Now this is interesting because if you look at the, basic products, such as actual cameras, those are obviously very complicated things, typically more expensive, not going to be the best products you're going to want to look into private labeling. On the other hand, if you start scrolling down, you start seeing accessories, cases and bags, hard drives, memory cards, and different camera accessories, such as even this sort of thing, those start getting a little more attractive. Because if you start looking into those things, you'll find that you may be able to find a supplier of those, get some unique packaging made, and you can have your own brand there, target some good keywords. So that's where this category is kind of in the middle, because the basic products like cameras, not very good. Camera accessories, those may be good opportunities. Next category I have pulled up here, kitchen and dining, very broad level category. So as you can see, there's things like small appliances, maybe not be the best. Tabletop, this is plates and that sort of thing, may not be the best. But things, possibly like bakeware, possibly storage and organization, these sort of containers, those sort of things could have good private label potential. You kind of have to use a little bit of logic here and thinking, is this something that I think I could find a supplier for, could find an opportunity for, and is this something really worth pursuing? Because in the next video, we'll start looking into some of these a little more in depth, see what's actually selling well, rather than this sort of just random looking around right now. But I just want to get you a good feel of what's going on, because you're going to end up with a list of 10 to 20 different opportunities, because it's a little tough to tell just by first glance whether or not something's a good opportunity. So I'm just trying to make your looking around a little more efficient, because you don't want to waste time looking at things that will never make any sense. But there's categories like this where, it's kind of in the middle. Some things won't make sense, obviously major appliances. Some things may make sense, smaller items that you see looking around here. So the next category I have pulled up is pet supplies. Pet supplies, obviously a huge market. People buy all kinds of stuff for their pets. So this is going to depend. You may not want to sell dog food, but maybe some sort of dog collar, dog leashes, those kind of things could be good opportunities worth pursuing. So like I said, you have to use a little bit of logic here, but I'm just giving you a general overview of a few different categories to sort of get your brain wrapped around about how to start looking for opportunities on Amazon. Next one I have pulled up, toys and games. Toys and games, huge market. Now a lot of it is brand driven. Crayola, obviously, if you're looking for crayons, they may have that market owned. I haven't looked into it specifically, but that may not be a good market. But if people are looking for general items, tumbling mat, I mean, that could be a good opportunity. But, who knows if this is completely brand driven, which is what the next video is all about, is individually looking into these opportunities. So, once again, just a broad overview. This could be a good market, could not be a good market. It's really going to take some more in-depth analysis. Next category I have pulled up, exercise and fitness. This one is another one that's kind of in the middle. Selling treadmills, elliptical trainers, exercise bikes, not really going to make any sense. Selling things like this, on the other hand, balance trainers, not really balanced, not really brand driven, a little bit smaller of an item, doesn't weigh too much, may work out well. Selling kettlebells, if you're not familiar with those, I mean, those weigh anywhere from 20 to 80 pounds each. Those could be a good opportunity from a private label standpoint, but not a good opportunity because they're so heavy to ship. On the other hand, things like yoga mats, those are not too brand driven unless you're just a yoga fanatic and are really looking for specific brands. Most people just want a yoga mat. So those could be a good opportunity. Different Pilates tools like the circular thing that she's holding, and lots of other opportunities here. So, tennis shoes is going to be another one that's a little bit tough because it's more brand driven. It's really a high quality, high performance type product, but water bottles. So I'm just trying to show you that just because you click on a category doesn't mean everything's not going to make sense, and it doesn't mean that everything is going to make sense. And you sort of have to look around and start digging, which is what the next video is all about.
Hey there, Matt Clark here. So I wanted to shoot this little update video for you to show that you can actually go beyond the top 100 best-selling products. We recommend that for product opportunities that you end up wanting to sell or putting into your list of potential opportunities, that you make sure that they are below 500 in the top level category. But the deal is that if you look at Amazon, they only give you the top 100 for that category, home and kitchen being the top level category. The way you find products ranked, for example, 101 to 500 in that category, still staying below 500, is by looking at the subcategories. So if I go over here and I look at, I'm in home and kitchen, this is the main category. Remember, you already know how to look at the top 100. I go over here and let's click on bath. Let's take a look at these little shower ring things. If I look at these, remember I found them by going into the bath category, and I scroll down here, 119 in home and kitchen. Perfect, it's still below 500, but it wouldn't have shown up in that top 100 bestseller list. So remember, you always want to look at the top level category because this may be number one in way, home and kitchen, bathroom accessories, shower curtains and hooks, this sub category, but that doesn't matter because there could be zero volume in it. They could be the only product listed in this category. You never know. The only way you can compare apples to apples is by looking in the top level category. So as long as it's less than 500 here, you're still good to go, still could be a good product opportunity. But the way you find those, remember, is you've got your top level category, you're looking at the top 100, you say, okay, some of these top 100 products look good, but I really like this category. I want to find, the next best products in this category that may not be top 100, but they're still less than 500. So I start looking down into subcategories. You could even go to further down. You can go into a subcategory. It doesn't matter. All that really matters is that the product that you find, for example, if I go over here and I click on this ironing board, found it through a subcategory, but it's ranked this is crazy, number 1 million in this category, or 1.8 million, like that would be no good, obviously. You want less than 500. So it doesn't really matter if you have to dig a few categories deep to find the products, as long as it's less than 500.
So now that you have some broad level categories pulled up, it's time to make your list of potential opportunities. So you can use whatever you want. You can use Microsoft Excel, OpenOffice. In this case, I'm just using Google Docs. So I've just created a Google Doc called Amazon Potential Opportunities, listed the numbers 1 through 20, starting in the second row, and put product, just so we know that this is going to be the list of products, because we're going to build out some other pieces of information going to the right here. You want to make sure there's plenty of room, because we're just going to be putting in full Amazon product URLs, which can get kind of long, so we're just going to gather 20 of these. So what I've done is Amazon actually gives you a list of the top 100 best-selling items for each category. You get to that just by pulling up the broad level category. This is appliances, which remember I said was not going to be that good just because it's big items, but I left this up for a reason because something interesting happens. We'll talk more about that in a second. So anyways, you just have the full broad level category pulled up, and you just click best sellers. Then it gives you a list 1 through 100 of the top 100 best selling items on Amazon for that category. Another way to get there is if you just search in Google literally for Amazon bestseller lists, you click this second one, and you'll see that it's amazon.com/best-seller/ZGBS for whatever reason. And here, if you click on any of these, they'll give you the top 100 best-selling items for that category. For example, if I wanted to look at, let's go with sports and outdoors, and then you can see it'll give me the top 100 in sports and outdoors. If I wanted to go another category deep, for example, exercise and fitness, it'll give me the top 100 bestsellers in exercise and fitness, which is a subcategory of sports and outdoors. So we're going to start with this first one. Remember, I said appliances was not going to be that good if you're just going from an efficiency standpoint, because it's, dominated by big products such as refrigerators, and that's generally what people are looking for in this category. But if you click on bestsellers, I was just looking at this, playing around with this, wasn't planning on this happening, but was looking through this, and it's all the smaller items which are actually the best sellers, even though Amazon is featuring those big items. So this goes to show you that a big part of finding opportunities on Amazon, if you don't already have one in mind, is really just digging in and starting to look for stuff, because you want to make sure that you get a good solid list of 20 opportunities. So I'm going to keep this category active, and I'm going to look through this, and we're going to start picking out some good opportunities. So remember, we're looking for products that are priced between $9 and $40, that have private label potential, that are physically small, don't weigh a whole lot, and it's going to take a little bit of intuition, but that's why we're taking 20 different opportunities, and we're going to drill further in after that. So right now, don't worry too much about picking out the perfect opportunities, because out of these 20 that we're going to pick out, we're literally just going to run with one at first. So I'm going to start looking through these top 100 bestsellers in appliances. As you can see, you start scrolling through looking for stuff. Side-by-side refrigerator water filter, a little bit tough. It's kind of a technical product. Juicer, that's a little bit tough. It's a bigger product, more expensive. So those may not be so good. This one is interesting. Blender bottle, which is actually a brand name. That's okay. It's basically just a bottle that has this little ball inside that you're able to put liquids inside, a lot of times protein shakes, and just kind of shake it up so you don't have to use a blender. Maybe a good opportunity. It's small, it's a little bit on the cheap side, but remember, we want to be a premium priced product, so it's close enough, so we'll just go ahead and grab this one. So I'm just going to do right click it, click copy link address, go over here, and I'm going to plug it in here. But when I do this, I'm going to delete everything after this ref, because you don't really need that. That's just telling Amazon how you found the product. So we're just going to delete everything after that and then press enter. So we've got our first product in here. As you can see, this automatically hyperlinks it, so it's good. Worst case, if it doesn't, whatever program you're using, you can copy and paste later. But it should end with something like this, DP, or maybe a different code there, / this thing, which is actually the product ASIN number. You don't really need to worry about that right now, and then a /. So that's what we're going to do for the next 19 opportunities, since we already have one. Going to keep digging through here. So this is another interesting one. As we can see, stainless steel tea tumbler. It's about the right price. It's physically small. It's kind of a unique product. Maybe another good one. Let's go ahead and grab it. I'm going to keep looking here. Go ahead and go to the next page. As you can see, here's 1 through 20, and then we have different pages, 20 at a time, all the way up until 100. So here's another interesting one. It's number 28 in this category. Misto Gourmet Olive Oil Sprayer. Olive oil sprayer kind of caught my eye because it's a very unique product. It's small, it's selling very, very well. So we'll go ahead and grab that one too. Maybe a little tough to find because it's kind of unique, but it could be a big opportunity. So here's another interesting one, number 37, AccuSharp Knife Sharpener. Very general name. It would be a little bit tough to target just knife sharpener, but the reason I like this is because, it's about the right price, a little bit on the low side, but we can come in a few dollars higher, maybe even a lot higher, and still do very, very well. But it's physically small. This kind of product is probably easy to find. You can see that it literally just has AccuSharp printed on the side. Other than that, it's probably a generic product. I mean, who knows? But it's an easy thing to private label. It's the right size, so we're going to go ahead and grab that one too. Then if we look at this one could be okay. Not quite as attractive as the other ones, but the reason I like it is because it's got a pretty unique keyword, silicone spatula set. Maybe something pretty easy to target. So we're going to go ahead and grab that and we'll look at it a little bit later. And keep scrolling down, some more juicers, not that good. Here's another interesting thing. You see this blender bottle we already grabbed. That was the first product we grabbed. Interesting thing about this is that there's multiple listings in the top 100, which means that there's a lot of people looking for and buying this type of product, even different product listings. So that sort of validates our first choice. So what I'm kind of doing here is looking for products that aren't so generic, aren't too complicated. And like I said, it's a little bit of an intuitive kind of thing, but hopefully by seeing how I'm evaluating and looking at products, you'll be able to pick out some good ones yourself. I mean, these are obviously not, this is just such a small amount of the total product opportunities on Amazon that it's really okay if you don't want to pick one of these opportunities. I actually recommend that you don't because you're going to want to find something that other people haven't found yet. But we're just going to keep moving here, and hopefully you'll get a better and better feel as we go along as to what to look for. So, I may have missed a few opportunities in this broad level category, but the ones I picked out, as we can see, I picked out 5 out of that one category, and that's fine because we have a bunch of other categories pulled up here. So I'm just going to go ahead and close this one out and pull up the next category. So the next one is the Amazon bestsellers in camera and photo. Now remember, this category, it's going to have a lot of these kind of things. Canon PowerShot, it's a big brand name, it's a technical device, over $100 in price, kind of complicated. Going to be tough to create a product just like that or private label a product just like that. But there are some accessories that are pretty attractive in this category. So here's one for example. We have a flexible tripod. Pretty generic product, not a brand name I recognize. I'm not, a camera or photography enthusiast or anything like that. But either way, this is potentially a good opportunity. It's just a flexible tripod. So we're going to go ahead and pop that here. So this category, really only pulled out this one. Part of that's because it's just overly dominated. It's the camera and photo category, so it's dominated by these big, expensive lenses and by actual cameras. So didn't find as many opportunities there. That's perfectly fine. If you wanted to dig further into this category, you could look at more subcategories. As you can see, lots of different subcategories here. You can look into ones that may even make more sense, such as accessories, that sort of thing. But we're just going to move on to the next category for right now. So now the next category we have here is bestsellers in kitchen and dining. Once again, another blender bottle. These things are absolutely dominating on Amazon, different categories. It's a little bit crazy. One thing to think about too is to look over here. This isn't really the focus of the strategy we're using right now, but something to keep in mind, sort of look at each time you pull up a category, is hot new releases. Because these are products that have literally flown up in the rankings on Amazon for this category, just kitchen and dining. Here's the hot new releases for kitchen and dining. So these ones are ones that are selling well right now. It may mean that you can find some opportunities in this hot new releases, either just looking at the top 3 or looking at the top 100, that will be opportunities not as many people have tapped into yet because they're new. They're literally flown up on Amazon. Amazon's put them in this section right here, and you can sometimes look there too in addition to the top 100. But we're going to keep moving in the top 100 list. So this category didn't really pull out any, mainly because in that appliances category, there was a lot of overlap between this category and that one. So we've already really pulled out some of the best opportunities in this category. In my opinion, once again, you can look through this again. Maybe I missed some. That's perfectly fine. But right now, a lot of those opportunities in this category are actually covered in the appliances category. So we're going to move on to the next category. So the next category is pet supplies. Huge market. A little bit tricky because some of the products are going to be just like this. It's going to be dog treats, dog bones, those kind of things, dog foods, pet food, different kinds of things like that, which may not be the best opportunities. But there are going to be some pretty cool things here that we can pick out and research for private labeling. So here's an example of a product. This one's a little bit out there, but I know these are pretty popular. Pet Zoom Pet Park Indoor Pet Potty. It's really just a piece of turf that may have a filter underneath, that kind of thing. But these kind of things are pretty popular now and may present a good opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that and plug that in here. So I've jumped back over here because I realized when I was going through these that I actually passed this one up. Here's a just generic one. It's a cat bed. Dog bed, maybe a little too big. Cat bed's not too bad. It's going to be fairly lightweight if you get the right one. So we're going to go ahead and grab that one and plug it in over here. Can we find a good, solid, private label cat bed? And we'll look into that a little bit later. And here's another one here, this pet nail trimmer, pretty generic. We'll go ahead and grab that one too. So now we're just going to go ahead and move on to the next broad level category, which is toys and games. So we're going to start looking through these. These little electronic helicopters, these are pretty popular. They sell them in a lot of malls and kiosks and that sort of thing. So we're going to go ahead and grab that here and keep moving through. You see, as you can see, another helicopter, another one, pretty popular here on Amazon. So here's one that could be interesting. This is glow stick bracelets, a little on the lower side. You can come in a little bit higher and still meet the price target. This is a tube of 100. I mean, these things are likely, if you get them from the right source, absolutely dirt cheap. So go ahead and grab that as well. And that's all we're going to grab from this category. So moving on to the next one, I'm looking in exercise and fitness equipment in the sports and outdoors. So I'm not looking at the bestseller list from the broad level sports and outdoors category. I drilled one level deep just for just showing you that you can also look at subcategories, not just the broad level one, and still find some great opportunities. So here we are in exercise and fitness equipment. So here's a bigger one, yoga mat. We'll grab that. And here's another one, just a basic stability ball. And here's another one here, foam rollers. As you can see, these are all pretty generic products that there are likely plenty of suppliers for, so we're just grabbing a lot of these here. Gonna keep looking through here. Yoga block is another easy one. This speed jump rope, another pretty easy one. Once again, it's right out, penny below $9. Can come in a little higher, still meet the criteria. Lifting straps, very generic. Can grab that one. And that's good. As you can see, we could go and pull 3 more opportunities. Pulled quite a few from health and fitness. There's just quite a bit of opportunities there, just easy ones. I'm familiar with the market, so that helps a little bit too. But as you can see, we can go pull up another broad level category, fill out 20, but you really want to make sure that you have 15 to 20 of these here. So I'm just going to leave it at this. I mean, I could go dig some more categories, but this will give us enough to work with for this example. So pulled out the list of categories and then get ready in the next video because we're going to start analyzing each one of these opportunities and trying to boil this down into a list of 3 that we really want to do some in-depth supplier research with. So now that you have your list of 15 to 20 opportunities to start digging into to see if they're worth pursuing, it's time to start figuring out exactly which opportunities are best. So now I'm not going to walk through all 15 of these, or actually I have 17. Not going to walk through all of those right now. I'm just going to walk through the first 2, but the same exact steps I'm going to show you apply to looking at any other opportunity, including the other ones that I have here. And by now you should have your own list of 15 to 20 product opportunities. So all I'm going to do, first off, as you see, I've added a few different items to this spreadsheet. I've added price, keyword, bestseller ranking, I've just abbreviated BSR, ranking product number 2, ranking product number 3, number of reviews product number 2, and number of reviews product number 3. I'll explain what all this is whenever we start going through these examples. So if you want to pause this video right now and set up your spreadsheet so you have these additional column headings as well, go ahead and do that right now. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and move and go ahead and look at this first opportunity. So you can just click on the URL, or I'm just copying and pasting. I'm going to paste it in there. And here's the first opportunity we pulled out. Sandesa blender bottle with blender ball. So I'm going to go back here. Price is easy. We're just pulling the price for this product, $7.51. Don't worry about prices anywhere else. Just pull the first one you see. Price $7.51, not the list price, just the actual price it's selling at. I'm going to plug that in there, $7.51. And then for keyword, we're going to pull that in a second, but the first thing you need to do is bestseller ranking. So for bestseller ranking, we are looking down here. And as you can see, Amazon bestsellers ranking, it's number 2 in all of kitchen and dining. Don't worry about the rankings in the subcategories here, just this top level ranking, number 2 in kitchen and dining for this product. So bestseller ranking is number 2. That's very, very good. It's the number 2 product out of everything being sold in kitchen and dining. As we know, Amazon's the world's largest online retailer, and kitchen and dining is one of its top level categories, so that product is selling extremely well. Next one, number of reviews. As you can see up here, it's got tons and tons of reviews. Most products will not have this many, but it's probably been selling well for a very long time. So 1,992. That is a ton of reviews, but that's okay. Just putting the number down right now. Now for keyword. The keyword, what I want you to figure out is what if somebody was going to Amazon.com and they were just doing a search for a similar product. What would they search for? What would be that primary keyword? Because interesting thing here is Blender Bottle is the brand name. It's apparently a registered trademark brand name. So that's not something it's really going to help you out to be targeting. You might be able to incorporate it into your marketing, but that's not going to be the main thing you're going after. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open up a new tab and start doing a little digging. Let's just type in Blender Bottle. Now we know that's a brand name, but we see what else pops up. Different sizes, here's a specific model, etc., etc. Let's just do a search for Blender Bottle to see what pops up, because Amazon helps us figure this out. Remember, Blender Bottle may be an okay keyword, but it's a brand name, which makes other things a little tricky. So we see Shaker Bottle. That's another good keyword. So Shaker Bottle is not a brand name. This is just a generic keyword people would search for related to this. Another way you can find out what the main keyword is looking at Google's keyword tool. So Google Keyword Tool. We're going to go ahead and pull that up right there. And we're just going to type in those two keywords, Blender Bottle and Shaker Bottle, and click Search. And we can see what else people are searching for. Protein shaker bottle, that's good to know. Blender bottles, shaker bottles. Blender bottles is once again brand name, makes things a little trickier. Protein shaker bottles, shake bottle, protein shaker bottles. The Blender bottle, once again a whole brand name thing. Blender in a bottle. So shaker bottle and blender bottle is pretty good. Let's put the one that's not the brand name as the keyword here. Shaker bottle. Because for these other pieces of data you're going to gather, you're going to use that keyword. So we've already searched for shaker bottles here, or shaker bottle. So then we're going to look and see what the other products look like. Now normally we would just grab the next ones in the listing, but for this product only, because it's so brand driven, or at least because they have so many different listings for the same product, we're just going to skip over the ones that are the exact same brand name. So Blender Bottle, let's not worry about that one. This next one, Optimum Nutrition Shaker Bottle. This is just another brand name, so that's perfectly good. So it's priced at $4.79, a little bit on the lower side, so that's good to know. And then we're going to go ahead and open this up here. And then we're going to look and see how well this one's selling. 2,873 in health and personal care. Still pretty good. So the ranking of the product number 2, 2,873 in the top level category. This time it's in a different category, but that's perfectly fine. How many reviews? 16. Definitely on the low side, which is good for us. Then we're going to look at the third product there that we see that's not another Blender bottle. We're not too worried about another Blender bottle. Spider Bottle. Okay, cool. Here's another brand name. Could be your brand name in the future. Spider Bottle. It's got 11 customer reviews and 3,579. So 3,579, and it's got 11 reviews. So it starts getting obviously a little bit lower, so it's a lot of people looking for that Blender bottle and that sort of thing. And then these other bottles are still selling okay. They're not blowing it out of the park, but that doesn't mean that there aren't some good opportunities there. So that first product, for the purposes of this, is done. So now we're going to look at the second product here. You can click on it or copy and paste it and plug that in there. And here is this Thermos Nissan 12-ounce stainless steel tea tumbler with infuser, priced at $20.04. That's our first piece of data. And the bestseller ranking of this product is number 6 in kitchen and dining, selling extremely well. Anything pretty much in any of those top level categories that's selling in the top 100 is doing very, very well. Number of reviews of this product, 332, a little bit on the high side, but not too bad compared to the 1,992 anyways. So then next thing is to find out what a good keyword for this is, a general keyword. Good thing that stands out to me is tea tumbler. That's a very general keyword, something people, whatever a tea tumbler is, I mean, it just helps them make tea, obviously, but people that are looking for that, they're just going to go to Amazon.com and type in tea tumbler. So let's go ahead and plug that in here, tea tumbler. And we see that there's a lot of different options here. Here's that first one we were looking at. Second one, $14.99, 156 reviews. And so let's see how this one, 5,173. So we're going to plug that in here. Actually, we need to put this in there. Tea tumbler, 5,173. Number of reviews on this product, 156. Okie dokie. And then let's look at the third product we see here. Now, one thing that's interesting, which we explain more later in Module 5 when we start getting into promotion, is that the ranking in the category does not necessarily correlate to the ranking for a keyword. There could be products that are selling better, which is better indicated by the ranking in the category, but that don't rank as high for specific keywords. Once again, we'll explain more about that later. So here's the third product we see here. This is, let's see, it has 6,228 kitchen and dining, no reviews, so that's obviously definitely on the low side with the reviews. It's got none. 6,228. Okay, so we've got the data for that. But I did want to show something. If we want to look at like the next one of these, travel mug set, tea tumbler. This one has 25 reviews and 4,692 in kitchen and dining. Perfect example. This one is ranked higher for this keyword than this product, but this one has a lower, i.e. better, ranking in the category. So perfect example, but just for this, we're just going to grab the first 3 products, we're going to grab the number of reviews, we're going to grab the bestseller rankings, and we got our keyword and the price of the original product, and that's all we really need to do right now. So now that you've filled in all the data for all of these products, your list of 15 to 20 different products, and now it's time to pick 3 that you want to start researching suppliers for. You do want to keep this list handy because in case those 3 don't work out or if they're just not quite what you're looking for, you want to be able to jump right back into here and not have to start back from scratch. So evaluating these is a matter of looking at these different criteria that you've gathered and seeing which ones seem the best. It's not a perfect science, but seeming which ones are the best in terms of the opportunity and which one you want to pursue for the next step, which is finding a supplier. So I've looked at these ahead of time. And a few that stand out to me are, first off, this silicone spatula. I like because it's kind of a generic product, but it's kind of specific. It's something that's a simple device. It's not mechanical. It's literally, a piece of wood and then the silicone, head part of it. And so it's pretty easy. There's going to be a lot of people that can make this sort of thing, but it's also got that unique keyword. It's not just a spatula. It's a silicone spatula. And if you look here, this is another thing that I like about it. As you can see, the bestseller ranking of it is number 20. That's extremely good. The lower the bestseller ranking, that means the better that product is selling in that top level category. So 20 is very good, 223 is very good, 473, all these are very good. And the number of reviews, 408, definitely on the high side for the main product, but for the other ones, it's 53, 105, which means you'll learn more about how reviews affect what you can do with your product later on in Module 5. But for right now, just know that when you start getting into the multiple hundreds or thousands of reviews, those products are more and more competitive and harder to compete with. So right now, 53, 105, I'm okay with. So this one, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. This is going to be one of the ones I'm going to do some of the supplier research on. So looking down at some of these other ones, one that kind of stood out to me, but I'm not going to go with, is this pet nail trimmer. 71 is very good for the bestseller ranking. 94 is good. 883 is still good, still top 1,000. Reviews a little on the higher side, but the reason I wouldn't want to go with this is just personal opinion. I have a dog, I have a cat, and I wouldn't want to go out there and find a product. The sort of liability issue scares me a little bit. People care about their pets very much. I wouldn't want to go out there and the product not be as good as I would want for my own pets. And so it's a market I'm not familiar with. It's just something I'm not really comfortable with at this point. You may be. I mean, I could be completely wrong in that. Like I said, it's just a personal opinion. So I'm going to keep looking at some of these other ones. Another one that I like here is the speed jump rope. As you can see, it's got 132, still very good, close to top 100, 26 extremely good in the top level category. This one, it's sort of, on the medium side anyways. 19 reviews, that's very, very low for a product that's selling that well, so that's good for us. That means we can compete with them when you start learning how to get more and more reviews in Module 5. And then 121, not bad. 10, also very, very good. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and highlight that one. Then the last one I'm looking at here is this one, olive oil sprayer. 17, it's doing extremely well, even for something that to me, I'm not big into cooking or anything like that, but to me, it's kind of a niche product, olive oil sprayer. It's not like, a very generic product that everyone seems to have in their kitchen, so that's good. That means we'll be able to carve out a good niche there. So 17, doing very well. Still top 2,000, that's still pretty good, around 2,000, still pretty good. You can generate some good sales with products in that ranking. So, and then 844, definitely on the high end for reviews. That would potentially, if all the products were like that, that would scare me off a little bit. But seeing that the next ones are, around 50 or less, I mean, that's not too bad for products that are selling this well. So that's going to be the third product I'm going to choose. So use this same sort of logic. You obviously, for bestseller rating, the lower for all three of these, the better. That means those products are selling very, very well. Sometimes you'll see a product like this, tea tumbler, that the number one is selling extremely well, but the next kind of drop off a cliff. That means that that first one may be brand driven. They may be driving a bunch of traffic to Amazon themselves, and the other one's just not selling quite as well. So that's something you kind of want to be careful about. But when you have multiple products all selling well for this general sort of term, that means it's a good, solid opportunity where lots of people can make good money, including yourself. Then the next thing you want to look at is the number of reviews. So, with it being in the multiple hundreds or, thousands in the case of these two products, that's not so good because it becomes very hard to compete with those products because they're good, solid, established products that have tons of social proof in the form of reviews. But if that's just the number one product and the rest have fairly low reviews, then, those are easy to compete with. You don't have to be number one to make multiple thousands of dollars off of these products each and every month. So if you're number 2, number 3, and with some good marketing, hopefully you still capture a lot of sales from the first product, which you'll learn more about in Module 6 and Module 7. That's okay. So you obviously want the number of reviews to be lower because that means it's going to be easier to compete with. And the last thing to look at is obviously the price. Now we only picked out products that were priced around $9. As you can see, $8, $8, $8.07. Close enough because you could be a premium price product there. So somewhere around that price up to about 40 bucks. So that should all be good. You don't need to do too much there. Right now, go through your list of 15 to 20 products. Pick out the top 3 you want to pursue in the next step, which is finding good, solid suppliers for those products. So now we're going to talk about how to evaluate a product's potential on Amazon. So the reason this is useful to know is, for example, I've shown you exactly how to pick out good opportunities on Amazon for selling physical products. But maybe you're already running an e-commerce store or selling products on Amazon or already have some sort of physical product and you're already selling one and you want to know whether or not it's worth selling on Amazon for this business model. Or you want to know, if you're selling a bunch of products, which one should you focus on? Because you should focus on only one for right now. So this is a good reason you may not, it may not make sense to go digging through categories, that kind of thing. So this is how exactly you can determine whether or not any product is worth selling with this business model. And maybe you already have access to a product through another means. Maybe you know somebody who, manufactures it, or you know somebody who supplies it, you know somebody who can label it for you. Any of those kind of things. Or, down the road, or, right now, people understand that you're an expert with selling products on Amazon. By the time you get done with this 8-week program, people are going to be throwing opportunities at you left and right. So if an opportunity comes your way to sell a product, somebody wants to do a partnership deal, I mean, it happens all the time, then you'll know whether or not it's worth your time pursuing. So here are the evaluation steps. First off, does the product have private label potential? We've covered this in other videos. So this is all about, can the product be easily and inexpensively made your own? Can it be put inside of a package? Can it have a label put on there to make it your own unique product? Because we're not in the business of selling other people's products. You're creating your own product brand that you can do lots and lots of cool things with, including control your pricing and make a lot more money. So you want to make sure the product has good private label potential. You don't want some big technological device, that weighs 50 pounds, because that thing's going to be tough to ship, it's going to be hard to label, and it's going to be tough to manage. Ideally, you want smaller, non-mechanical products. So that's what you're kind of looking for. So that's your first criteria. Second thing is, you want to determine the top keywords for the product. I'll show you two different ways. You can either use Google's keyword tool, or you can look on Amazon itself. So once you've figured out what the best keyword is, you just do a quick search on Amazon to see what other products are currently there. Then you just look at the top 3 to 5 products and use the rules of thumb to determine whether or not this is a product worth pursuing. So now we're going to talk about a quick example over on Amazon. So for example, if someone comes to me, comes to you, comes to anybody that knows how to do this, and they say, I'm just giving a product example that I've just made up. Somebody says, oh yeah, I've got a source, or, there's these cool stylus pens you can sell for iPhones and for other smartphones. Do you think, that would be worth selling on Amazon? Here's how you would evaluate this for yourself. First off, you can just start typing keywords in here. Stylus for iPhone. Okay, there's a bunch of keywords there. Or you can type iPhone stylus. Either way, another way to determine, because that really goes based off of what you search for. So if you start with iPhone stylus, it's not really, you see a bunch of keywords related there. These are the ones at the top get the most amount of volume. But if you want to find out what the best keyword is, generally the best way is just to go use Google's keyword tool. So just search for Google keyword tool. And then just go over here, click this first one, just the AdWords keyword tool. So then once you're over in Google's keyword tool, you just type in some of the related keywords. So stylus, iPhone stylus, anything like that. You want to click this, only show ideas closely related to my search terms, because otherwise you'll get a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't really make sense. And then just click search. Once that's done, go ahead and sort by global monthly searches. And you'll see stylus for iPhone, iPhone with stylus, not really what we're looking for because we want to sell the actual product, not the iPhone. So stylus for iPhone, just showing you some good keywords. iPhone 4 stylus, that's good for targeting. So let's just pick out this top one, stylus for iPhone. Then we go over to Amazon, and the step 2 is to type that keyword into Amazon and see what comes up. So stylus for iPhone. Go ahead and pop that in there. And then as we can see, we have a bunch of other results pop up. So the first thing you want to do is open up the first 3 of these and see what the bestseller rank looks like to see if they're actually selling well. So for this first one, we open it up, 25 in cell phone and accessories. That's selling extremely well. So then if we look at the second one, 34 in cell phone accessories, selling extremely well. Then we look at this next one, 94 in cell phone accessories, extremely well. I mean, these are absolutely dominating. So then, if you scroll down, one thing that you might notice is like $1.71, $3.35, $2.47. These prices are pretty low. You're like, that's not really what we're looking for. But if you start scrolling down, I mean, this is a bundle of 14, so these people are selling this stuff extremely cheap. But if you start scrolling down and looking at these, like, let's look at some that are a little bit higher price, $6.95. Then I'm going to scroll down, pull a couple more out. Let's look at this one, $8.95. So find ones to see if it's an extremely price-sensitive market. So that if we open up this one that was $6.95, if you scroll down, you'll see that it's still number 68 in cell phone accessories. So you don't have to come in here selling the thing for $1.70 to do very, very well. Look at this other product, $8.95. Let's scroll down and see how that's doing. 111 in a cell phone accessory. So this is a very, very good product. So you found out that not only are there lots of products selling well for this type of product, iPhone stylus, there's lots of them selling well on Amazon, but you've also found out that you don't have to be extremely cheap to do very well with this. You can have a higher priced product, a premium product. So all in all, this looks like a good opportunity. Now, on the other hand, if you wanted to look at a product and it came up that there was no products that were selling very well, there was no good bestseller rank, or there was only one and then all the rest of them were horrible, then it's probably not a product you want to pursue. So this is a good idea, good skill to have whenever you're moving forward with your own Amazon business, when you start coming up with ideas yourself, and when other people start presenting ideas to you. You know quickly how to determine whether or not it's a good product for selling on Amazon.